Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jingjing Wen. It's a great honor for me to present my paper on if the blockchain could block. This paper is a joint work with Professor Abhishek Roy and Professor Subodha Kumar, both from Ford School of Business at Temple University. We know that cultivating is a big concern in our life. For example, right holders, governments, and foreign economies are suffering huge losses each year, and the criminal networks of the cultivating trade are enormous. For example, it around 2.5% of global trade are cultivating products, and it costs around 461 billion US dollars each year. And it also accounts for around 5% of imports to the European Union. Here are some industries that are suffer a lot from cultivation issues. For example, clothing, pharmaceuticals, etc. When we're talking about counterfeits, here are two types of counterfeits. The first type is deceptive counterfeits. This means those products are made to intend to deceive the consumers. So usually at time purchase, consumers are unable to differentiate whether a product is genuine or not. The second type is non-deceptive counterfeits. For those consumers, for those products, they are not intended to deceive the consumers. So consumers usually can know this product is a counterfeit at time purchase, such through the type of retailer outlet, pricing, and quality. And our focus in this paper is deceptive counterfeits. Here is a consumer survey about their experience on counterfeits, counterfeits. And around 17% of consumers report they unknowing purchase on counterfeits. Here, we can find the online product review of online shopping website from Amazon in the US and Taobao from China that some consumers reportedly purchased the counterfeit products from a genuine retailer. Gao and Wu study did a small field study in China. Specifically, they purchased different number of handbags from different retailers. And they found that some retailers sell 100% of genuine products, while some other retailers sell only a proportion of genuine products and some other proportion of counterfeits. So based on those observations, our question is as follows. First, when does a retailer have the incentive to sell counterfeits? And what's the impact of deceptive counterfeits on the profits of both the manufacturer and the retailer? We know that blockchain is a promising method in combating counterfeiting issue. Here are some manufacturers have already adopted blockchain technology to combat counterfeiting issue. For example, Prada and Louis Vuitton joined our blockchain technology to combat counterfeiting issues. And in European, some products adopt blockchain to combat counterfeiting issue. Here are some examples of blockchain is used in real life. Here's a milk powder from Walmart. Here is a QR code. When you use your mobile phone to scan this QR code, you can find the information, extract the information from the website, such as sources of the manufacturer and all the way, and other information all the way through the point of sales. Here's another example of blockchain adoption in our real life. This shoes is called Deal B33 sneakers from website, we can read that this pair of shoes is equipped with a secure NFC chip, and this NFC chip is placed in a right right foot of shoes. And when you use a mobile phone to scan it, it will direct to a website and ask you to record the information, such your name, etc. And when you record all the information required, then you can claim a certificate of authenticity. And along with the certificate of authenticity, you can also find additional information on different stages of manufacturing process and even announcements for future sneaker launches. So based on these observations, we ask, when should the manufacturer take actions to combat conflicting issues? Our paper is closely related to two shifts literature. The first trait is impact design conflicts, and the second trait is strategic blockchain adoption. And our paper lie in the intersection of these two shift literature. Our paper different in first shift literature in that we consider a manufacturer may adopt blockchain technology as combating issues instead of like supply chain structure studied by Zhang and Zhang, and study the impact of regulation on the selling conflicts by Gao and Wu, and examine among who was the in best position in the supply chain to combat conflicting issues. And our paper different from strategic blockchain adoption literature that here we consider a retailer will sell conflicts instead of an independent third-party counterfeiter. And we also consider that even after manufacturer adopt the blockchain technology, whether use blockchain technology to verify the authenticity of product is a exogenous decision of the consumers instead of a requirement of the consumers. Here's our model. First, we consider the situation with without blockchain adoption. We consider here's a brand name company with production cost CA. He wholesale his products with wholesale price WA to the retailer. Except from sourcing products from brand name company, the retailer may also sourcing counterfeit product from counterfeiter with sourcing price WC normalized to 0. Then a retailer set the price P for both the counterfeit product and genuine products at price P and sell to the consumers. By selling deceived counterfeits, here is a penalty of being caught, and we consider it as a constant F. This penalty may include like future reputation loss, etc. And the probability of being caught for selling counterfeits, we consider is convex in a fraction of proportion of counterfeits being sold. So we consider it as S squared. So the expected penalty for selling S per proportion of counterfeits is S squared times F. The time sequence is as follows. First, the manufacturer sets the wholesale price W, then the retailer chooses the fraction of counterfeits it wants to sell. Then the retailer sets the retailer price P. Finally, consumers make the purchase decisions. Note here, even if we consider that the retailer's choice about fraction of counterfeits S and the retailer price P is a simultaneous decision, then our results still remain the same. And we consider that the quality of genuine products is V, while the quality of counterfeits is inferior to the quality of genuine products, we denoted by beta V, with B within a range of 0 to 1. The consumer's utility. We adopt the hoteling line model and consider that branded company and is cited as retailer is cited as point 0 and outside option is cited as X. So the consumer's utility for purchase authentic product is V minus T minus P, while the consumer's utility for receiving the counterfeits is beta V minus T minus P. T is the so the expected utility is on the weighting average of these two parts. So here's the model with blockchain adoption. When the manufacturer does blockchain, it will incur a variable adoption cost CB. And when consumers find counterfeits by using blockchain technology, they may choose to return the products and demand the composition data. However, by using blockchain technology, consumers incur a privacy concern theta. This is because by using blockchain technology, consumers are need to record their purchase information in a blockchain system. Blockchain system is immutable. This means that the data recorded within the blockchain system is kept here permanently. This will incur consumer privacy concern issue. We adopt a two-point of distribution. Specifically, we consider alpha fraction of consumers are with high privacy concern, theta h, while 1 minus alpha fraction of consumers are with a low privacy concern issue, theta L. Here's the order for consumers purchase and a product from an online retailer. First, the consumer order product and then they receive the product. With probability 1 minus S, it will receive a genuine product, while with probability S, it will receive a counterfeit. After receiving products, consumer may choose to use blockchain to verify the authenticity or not. If the consumer chooses to use blockchain technology to verify, then with probability 1 minus S, it will receive a genuine product, and the utility is V minus T minus P minus theta. And with probability S, its utility is the maximum of keeping the product and return product. If the consumer use not to verify, then its utility is the expected utility of these two parts. A solution method is using backward induction. Specifically, we saw 3 models. The first one we called benchmark and honest retailer. Here, the retailer consistently sell genuine products only. And we also consider dishonest retailer without blockchain technology, and also an dishonest retailer with blockchain technology. First, we study the impact of these counterfeits on the wholesale price. And we found that manufacturer may establish a higher wholesale price when the deceptive counterfeits is presented. Here is the figure illustration. This blue line means optimal wholesale price with in the presence of deceptive counterfeits, when the orange line is without counterfeits. Here is the range that W star is larger than W0. The reason that the manufacturer sets a high wholesale price is that in this range, because the penalty for selling counterfeits is relatively high. So the counterfeit rate is relatively low. This means even though the manufacturer set a higher wholesale price, then the retailer cannot set a very high counterfeit rate due to high penalty cost. And we also studied the impact of blockchain adoption on the wholesale price. And we found that with the blockchain adoption, the manufacturer may establish a lower wholesale price. Here is the figure illustration. The reason is that with blockchain adoption, the manufacturer want to retailer sells more lower proportion of counterfeit products. So he will set a lower wholesale price. And we also investigate when does a retailer have the incentive to sell counterfeits. And we found that when the production cost is relatively high, then the retailer is incentivized to sell counterfeits. Here is an illustration of when counterfeits happens. In this range, when the production cost is very low, then the retailer does not have incentive to sell counterfeits. In this range, when the production cost is intermediate, the retailer has the incentive to sell counterfeits. However, counterfeit will not happen in this range because manufacturer will set a lower wholesale price as a response. In this range, the retailer sell some fraction of genuine products while some fraction of counterfeits. And in this range, the retailer sells counterfeits only. Then we study the impact of counterfeits on the manufacturer and retailer, and we found that sales counterfeits can lead to four possible outcomes: win-win, win-lose, lose-win, and lose-lose situation for the manufacturer and retailer. This is a figure illustration. This lose-lose situation happens because manufacturers set a higher lower price in this range, but the counterfeit rate in this range is relatively low. So the demand increasing effect due to low wholesale price is also retailer price is also relatively low. So it will result lose-lose situation for both the manufacturer and retailer. And we also study when should the manufacturer adopt blockchain technology. And we found that whether the manufacturer adopts blockchain technology or not is influenced by the cost blockchain adoption, fraction of high price consumers, and production cost and penalty cost. Here is a figure illustration for alpha equal to 0. This means the fraction of high price consumers is 0. And the CB equal to 0 means the cost for blockchain adoption is there is no cost for blockchain adoption. And we found that in this shaded area, the manufacturer will adopt blockchain technology. In this range, the blockchain is not adopted because the retailer has no incentive to sell counterfeits. In this range, blockchain is not adopted because manufacturer benefits from counterfeits. When we increasing alpha equal to 0 to alpha equal to 0.75, we found that now the manufacturer also not adopt blockchain technology in this range. This is because in this range, the retailers sell only counterfeits, even with blockchain adoption, due to the penalty cost is relatively low and the production cost is very high. We also study how the increase of blockchain adoption costs will influence the range of blockchain adoption of the manufacturer. And we found that when CB increasing from 0 to 0.05, then the range will shrink to the center. We study the impact of blockchain technology on retailers' profit, and we found that the retailer may benefit from blockchain adoption. This because previously we figured out the retailer may lose from the decentralized conflicts. So if the blockchain is adopted in this loose range, then the retailer can benefit from the blockchain adoption. We also consider some extensions. The first one is fake versus consumers. Here we consider a fraction of consumers will not purchase the product if there is a risk of buying counterfeits. And we found that as long as the fraction of fake versus consumers is relatively low, then all results hold qualitatively. And besides, we also consider fixed and variable adoption cost, and we find that as long as the fixed cost F is relatively low, then our results still hold. Here's a short conclusion of our paper. First, we study the impact of both deceptive counterfeits and blockchain adoption on whole supplies, and identify the conditions when the retailer has the incentive to sell counterfeits, and figure out the impact of counterfeits on manufacturer and retailer, and find conditions under which the manufacturer should adopt blockchain technology to combat counterfeits and explore the impact of blockchain adoption on manufacture. Finally, we extend our base model to consider fake versus consumers and both the fixed and variable costs for blockchain adoption. And we find that our results hold qualitative. Thank you very much. Any comments are greatly appreciated.